Alright, hello everyone. Today we're going to be doing a video on Apex once again. Now, in case you guys didn't know, I got early access to Apex Season 25, but I didn't want to make like a proper video until obviously everyone had access. I made a live stream, of course, me playing the new season, and I'm very, very grateful for being part of the Creator Hub, Creator Network, but obviously, I'm still going to give my feedback on this season. There's a lot of positives that I've taken from this season, and there are some negatives as well. So I do want to kind of share both of them, obviously. But good things do come first, and that is, of course, the new character, which, by the way, I've been waiting for a character like this for so long. If you guys obviously don't know what I do on my channel, I do a lot of like concept videos, and I would say more so last year was like a big period, and also the year before was a big period where a lot of my concepts were actually getting recognized from what it seems, and a lot of them concepts that I have done in the past got implemented in the game, and I really wanted a cool recon character that had a tracker dart. I really wanted something like that, so I'm very glad that they've done that. I also like the fact that they now have a, I mean, kind of like a movement ability slash, like, Sparrow really is like every character in one, like every class in one, really, in a way. Like, apart from support, potentially. But obviously, he has the skirmish elements with his double jump. He has the assault elements with his ultimate. He has obviously the recon elements with him being in the recon class and the tracker dart. And then I would say also controller as well because the tracker dart because they are essentially traps, and so you can defend an area pretty well by putting a trap on each door to alert when people come in. So I think Sparrow is like really, really good, and I could see Sparrow being a very good character to pair up with a controller character, especially in ALGS. Um, One problem is though is I feel like potentially if you have Sparrow and a controller character, that's two different characters that don't have any movement potential. So you probably have to have a third character, potentially Alter, to go alongside. So Sparrow could potentially be replacing Ash, maybe, or Alter, I guess, interchangeably in some ALGS comps. Now, I have been following, if you guys haven't known, I haven't really played much Apex in the last like 4 months. Um, but I have still been following the ALGS scene, and I have seen that Ash and Alder are on the well, very high up in the pick rates, both in ALGS and also in just normal games as well, um, because they are extremely OP. But I can see Sparrow after obviously the period where everyone's playing him and enjoying him. I could actually see him staying very high up there, potentially against Ash and Alder, which I think is really, really good. I like when new characters released, pretty good. Now, people were saying that this character is definitely OP, and I simply don't see that. He's definitely not OP. I think he's very much balanced. Um, I do not think he's OP. I think if anything, he does need a little bit of a buff. The reason why I say he can challenge Ash and Alder is because them legends do the aggressive pushes way better than Sparrow. So like for example, Ash, she can easily just dash into you, use her tactical, and you're pretty much dead. There's nothing you can do in that situation. But with Sparrow, the most you can really do is double jump into someone's face, and then try to use your scan ability or your ultimate, um, and try to replicate the same kind of thing, but you don't have that additional ability that Ash does with her ultimate in case things go bad. You don't have that kind of something to fall back on. Same with Ultra as well. You don't have the ultimate to fall back on. So Sparrow is good, but not the best. So that's my first little thing is that I like how he's a good character player, can definitely rival the top characters if you're really good with him, but definitely not the best. Definitely not the best. So I like that. Um, Now, additionally, The 𝗏𝗁𝗃, my favorite weapon in the game, is back to floor loot. Now I have played a game, um, and I was using actually I played two games, and I was using the 𝗏𝗃 in them two games, and I mean it definitely feels the same as before. I don't think they like reduced the fire rate or anything like that. Obviously, it doesn't have Deadeye's tempo. It doesn't have shatter caps. So that's very disappointing. But it is the same fire rate from what it seems as before, but the damage is less. It's 55 damage rather than 60 when it was on the floor last, and that's a big difference. Even though technically it should still only kill, it should only still take 4 shots to kill someone from Pearl Shield. The difference is huge because I feel like a lot of the time I'm getting people literally 1 health with the 𝗏𝗃. I'm hitting them a few times and they're literally getting a 1 health. I'm like, if I were to hit them 3 shots before it got put in the care pack, that would have been 15 extra damage. I would have killed that person. And so it's really annoying. I don't know why they had to nerf the damage because I'm pretty sure the longbow does 60 damage, I think, doesn't it? Unless I'm just crazy or something, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure the longbow does 60 damage, or at least it did at one point. And they might have nerfed it maybe. But why nerf the 𝗏𝗃? Like it requires a lot of skill to be accurate with this weapon. Plus, as well, you have the added issue of arrows not being around everywhere. You can't just like fucking hog a shitload of arrows in your inventory. You have to literally go out and carry, like, pick them all back up again. You have to go out and do that. Which, by the way, that actual mechanic is pretty bad at the very start of the season right now because obviously everyone wants to use the 𝗏𝗃. So as soon as you eliminate a full squad, your whole team's probably running 𝗏𝗃s and everyone is just wanting to get all the arrows. So you're probably not going to get many arrows with the 𝗏𝗃. But once the season kind of dies down a little bit and like less people use the 𝗏𝗃, then I'd see how it's going to be balanced that way because there's probably only going to be like 1, maybe 2 people in your squad using the 𝗏𝗃, and so you can get your arrows back relatively easily that way and it's not going to be like a fight for getting arrows and stuff. One thing that I did find a little bit annoying though is the fact that you can't craft them. I feel like out of all the annoyances with obviously the loot pool, obviously like arrows not being on the ground, and things like that, like I get why not to have arrows in the loot pool. I fully understand that, but there's a crafter there. Why not allow for the 𝗏𝗃 to craft arrows? Like, if I've got a 𝗏𝗃 and I'm fucking running low on arrows, I'm not gonna then go, all right, I'm gonna fight this team to then get my arrows back. It doesn't make sense. And plus as well, for some reason when I was killing people, I was only receiving a few arrows back. I wasn't actually receiving their arrows that they had in their inventory. I was just kind of receiving arrows that I shot at them, and that was it. Even though I knew that they also had a 𝗏𝗃, which I thought was a bit weird because then essentially you can go the entire game and constantly be losing arrows and not ever getting more arrows. You would just be constantly shooting them, potentially missing some shots, and that arrow would just be gone. It'd be hundreds of meters away. So you're essentially just going to be losing arrows and never gaining them. So I think that's a bit stupid. I definitely think they should allow for you to at least pick up arrows from the arsenals and the replicators because that's not going to affect the loot pool at all. That's a separate machine entirely that you just go to get ammo for it. So I think that's 100% the easiest change they can make for the 𝗏𝗃, and it would make it a lot easier um, for people who are running low on arrows because obviously it's a meta weapon right now. Everyone's picking it to get that arrows back and play the game. Because I was running low in the last fight. I was like on 16 arrows and I was getting stressed. And I never liked that. So, yeah, that's definitely a change I would suggest. But I would also suggest to buff the weapon back up to 60. Because not only is the arrows, like the ammo count a problem, but the removal of the Deadeye's tempo is a massive thing as well. That's lowering how good this weapon can be as well. The fact that you could be able to do 60 damage and have Deadeyes on this weapon, and a lot of people didn't use it. That just shows you that this weapon is incredibly underpowered right now. People only use it because it hasn't been on the ground for so long, so it feels like a new weapon. But I can guarantee you, people will very quickly. I've seen it in that last game. People are using like the charge rifle and the longbow and things like that. People are very quickly distancing themselves from this weapon already because it's just not meta. Because they've lowered the damage to 55 rather than 60. I don't know why they've done that. Doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why. I feel like out of everything, you want to make sure that the new weapon is going to be OP. Like the P20 when they got the 𝗙𝗲𝗁𝗲s and the 𝗦𝘂𝗯𝘂𝗏𝗏 when they got 𝗙𝗲𝗁𝗲s. You want them weapons to be OP so everyone uses them, has fun with them, and then you nerf them later. But I feel like they've just completely destroyed this weapon. It doesn't have the shatter caps, which I think is sometimes pretty good. Deadeyes is of course incredibly good for this weapon. Um, and then the fucking what's it called? The arrows situation. But I'm going to move on from this because obviously it's a big. I love the bowcheck. I fucking love this weapon. So I really hope soon that they return to this and buff it a little bit because I would like to be able to use this and not feel like I'm being limited because the damage is just a little bit off. I can deal with the ammo problem, but the damage is definitely where I think needs to be buffed back to where it was. And I can kind of deal with the Deadeyes not being in the game as well. I can deal with that, but the damage needs to be sorted. Needs to be sorted. As for everything else, though, the battle pass actually looks really good, so that's a big positive. Obviously, I haven't really played a lot of the previous seasons. Well, not a lot of the previous seasons. I haven't played like last season and the season before. So I don't really have much to compare against, really, the previous seasons. But from what I see here with these skins, they look pretty cool. Even though this one does actually require like the Ultimate Plus pass, which costs a lot more. It looks really, really cool. Like, if you all want to get the Ultimate Plus, you're getting really cool skins. And I've seen what it looks like in first person with these, like, arm pieces. Really cool. And probably my favorite skin, I would say, in the game, I think, would be this Nemesis skin. It is literally the most stunning weapon skin I think I've ever seen, ever. Whoever made this needs to be very proud of himself. Like, it is incredible. Like, literally the most blinged out weapon ever. Beautiful. So I'm very happy with this battle pass. I can't wait to get this Nemesis skin. So I'm going to be working through all the challenges to get it. But like, that to me, having a really cool fucking reward at the end of the battle pass is everything that keeps me going. Like, anyway, so other things as well. What else does it cover? I guess I'll go into the firing range. Yeah, there's also arenas as well. I've played a few games of that on the early access thing. From what it seems like, arenas is basically the exact same as before. However, like very few changes, which I think is quite disappointing because for arenas to be gone for so long, and then yeah, so they basically just changed this. It's 3 rounds to win, and that's it. That is the difference right there, which I think is a bit stupid. The other thing that I found as well is the where was it? Okay, this isn't. I don't think this happens. I don't think the replicators are what are they called, the currency things. I don't think they're in the thing. I might be wrong about that. I might have just been blind, but I don't think they're in there. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong about that. If they are, I'll be very surprised because we haven't seen them in ages in this game. But yeah. But from what I've seen, it's basically the exact same fucking thing, except the games are quicker because it's best to 5 really maximum instead of best to 9. So it's literally half the duration of a normal game, which is pretty crazy. It's really meant to be like a warm up type of thing, but I really want them to integrate this more into the actual game like I made loads of concepts in the past about arenas being like a 1v1 thing, and it's really cool to see that like that at least is coming in some way. The fact that like I think it's later this season there's gonna be like a 1v1 arena thing. So I don't know whether the developers are testing out this theory that I have of adding a gulag into the game, but I would love to see arenas be implemented as a gulag system because essentially you're killing two birds with one stone there. You're embedding arenas into Battle Royale by essentially, if you die, you get put into the gulag. You pick your weapons. Obviously, you have full batteries. You have all that stuff. You pick your weapons. You 1v1 against someone in the arena. You kill them. You get fucking sent back to the game. There you go. But it's killing one stone by allowing you to have arenas in the game, but not as a separate game mode, but actually embedded into the Battle Royale. So you're constantly playing the game. There's no downtime. When you're dead, you're doing something. You've killed someone. Um, and so that's the first thing. But then the second thing is what is the second thing? Yeah, it's also going to be adding a way to respawn teammates and get them back in the game more often. Because obviously, you can be on the gulag and just like in Warzone, your teammates could get you back instead of you having to go with the gulag. So they could add other features. Obviously, like all the support characters that have all them revival and respawning characteristics, they could just have a respawn token for you or whatever. So they can essentially respawn you back in the game instantly without you having to go to the gulag for one-time use. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things they can do here with the respawning system. I think on top of the arenas, and I think arenas could be used as a gulag. It would be very cool. I would really like that because no one is essentially out the game. That's the big thing, is you're never out the game then. Until you are, essentially. Until you are, and you don't have like your respawn token or your gulag token or what the fuck it's going to be. I don't fucking know. Until you don't have one of them and you're out of second chances type of thing. Then obviously you will no longer have a choice. You'll have to just spectate. But I think it does give another chance for them people. So I would love to hear what you guys think about that because it's something that I have thought about for a while. It would be cool to see arenas implemented that way, and them going down this 1v1 kind of pathway. It interests us. I wonder what they're cooking up. But then we'll also have other things as well here. Love, by the way, the fact that they have the tracker art for Sparrow already. Love that. I'm a little bit pissed off because I actually missed out on the Newcastle tracker art for one season. I'm a little bit pissed off that I just didn't even fucking. I must have literally not even turned on the game. So I must have just never even knew that Newcastle had trackers. Because otherwise I would have got the battle pass done to that level. And got them trackers for him. So I'm a little bit pissed off about that. So that kind of leads us on to another feature that I hope does come to the game in the future, and that is to have previous battle passes be able to be purchased. Because I would love to be able to go and complete previous battle passes in addition to ones that I've currently got. Just so I can get the rewards for them ones as well. Because it's a little bit annoying, like just kind of missing out on a battle pass because you just didn't really have much interest in the game at the time. And then you just kind of miss out on some really cool rewards because I would have loved to see them Newcastle trackers. There's only a few characters I don't have trackers for, so it's a little bit annoying not to have the whole collection. But I would love to see that. But generally though, in terms of actual gameplay changes, there isn't much. I do want to go on the firing range just to kind of show you guys, I guess, kind of how all this is going down. I mean, obviously I can use like the new character and stuff. I mean, first of all, I love the character's double jump. I love it. I think it's really cool. I love the wall jump as well that you can do with them. It feels really intuitive, and they've definitely took a long time to implement this stuff to the game. I like it a lot. And it uses a similar mechanic to Ash, so it's very intuitive. Obviously, everyone's got used to Ash now, so may as well have a similar kind of ability, so that people can also get used to this character as well. So I like it. It makes a lot of sense. And I think it's such a unique tactical as well. One thing that I do find a little bit annoying though with this tactical is it's very hard to see where it's going to land. Because it does actually have a little bit of drop off, as you can see. It's not going to land exactly there. It's going to land a little bit further down. But because of the little like orb that's around it, like the little circle around it, it's actually really difficult to see where like the actual landing point is. So when I'm like trying to scan like survey beacons and stuff with the tactical, which is something you can do, it's very hard to be very precise. I mean, I'm on controller, so like sometimes, you know, when you're playing with the two sticks on your controller, it can be quite difficult to like adjust and realign sometimes, depending on your settings. And I'll have like I play like 4-4 or something like that, so I play like quite low. So like little like trying to make like the tiny little movements and stuff to kind of like, you know, get the actual thing. It's quite difficult. So I really hope to actually change that a little bit, like make it so it's a little bit less bright, the circle around it, just so you can actually see what you're hitting. Because I don't know if I'm actually going to hit this guy or not. See, that didn't hit him. You see, like to me that looked like it was going to hit that guy. Like this might hit him maybe. Yeah, that one did. But you see what I mean? It's quite difficult to know if it's going to hit someone because the orb is so bright around it. So hopefully they do change that. And I really like how long it takes. Like you basically track them for like a good while. Like look how long these are being tracked for. It's crazy. You pretty much have like a whole like 𝗙cie ultimate, really, in a way. It's not as intense as a 𝗙cie ultimate because it doesn't show like all the footsteps, but when you do actually scan someone, it shows you like the trail if they do move. So I like it. I think it might need a little bit nerf in terms of the actual tactical, maybe. But I think it's just balance in general, really. I think it's just already like pretty good. And then the ultimate, I feel like I think this needs buffed, to be honest. I mean, in my opinion, I don't like the fact that this ultimate is very similar to a lot of previous ultimates. Obviously, we've had, I mean, recently we've had Conduit, which of course has a very similar ultimate. You create obviously like a barricade, and it does damage over time. This guy, you create a area of effect, and it does damage over time. Then you have Crypto with his drone and his EMP, where you go over here and you create a little ball that does damage, 50 damage. It's like they're all very similar. Same with what's it called, Caustic as well. That one there as well. You know, more damage over time. Catalyst tactical as well. And this can go on really. But for me, I feel like the fact I was saying the exact same thing after Conduit came out with her ultimate. I feel like it's just not unique, you know, and that kind of pisses me off a little bit. I want a character's main wow factor, which is their ultimate. That's like the okay, right? This guy's like this is his big ability, you know what I mean? To be something that's a little bit more unique. When I seen that this was like a bow that you pull out, I was like, wow, you know, like this could be really cool. You can like aim it in and like do a lot of damage to one person. But if I aim this in and hit this guy right here, it does 15 damage. Like, it's not doing much to them. So it kind of like, and I know why they didn't make it so it done like damage as the main thing for this ability, because obviously it would be very similar to Vantage. But I feel like they could have done something else other than a simple area denial tool. because does this character actually need that? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like they're almost the only thing.
Oh, I didn't pick one yet.
Oh.
Now that is how you upgrade.
Yeah, I feel like that's the only thing that kind of lets his character down a little bit. It's fun, don't get us wrong. The helmet's really good. It's a little bit weird though sometimes, because sometimes if like someone's like just behind a rock, it doesn't hit them, which is like a little bit awkward. Or if they're like on top of a building, but they're still in the range, it doesn't hit them. So I feel like it's got a lot of like weird mechanics to it. I'm going to have to obviously learn about. So it doesn't really feel intuitive entirely in that sense with his helmet, but everything else I feel like they've worked out very well, the developers. But it's just the helmet that I feel like is a little bit weird, just in my opinion. Largely a lot of the other stuff though, like obviously I will use a bow check here just to show 55. Very sad about that. Yeah, like there's no Deadeye's tempo here, so like I'm feeling like I should be killing people a lot faster. Is the longbow 60 damage? Am I crazy or something? Is this 60 damage? Yeah, it is. It's... Duh, 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 duh. I think it's the same fire rate. I don't get why the fuck they changed it then. If anything, right, if they wanted to have these weapons, if they wanted to have them similar, which obviously will want to balance things, right? If it's the same fire rate, make this 60 damage. But if they want to make them different, give the bow check Deadeye's tempo permanent. Just integrate it into the weapon and keep the 55. I feel like one of the two things needs to happen. Either give it 60 damage, so it's very much similar like the longbow, because right now there's no reason for you to use the bow check when the longbow does the same fire rate but does 5 damage extra. Plus it has skull piercer as well. The only thing that is better on the bow check is the fact that you don't need to reload, but then you have limited ammo. You can't just keep stacking up on ammo with this thing. So I think the longbow just wins in general. Plus, as well, you have a fucking skull piercer as well. Like, how much does it do with a skull piercer? Where is it? Not that one. No. Let's have a look. How much does it do with a skull piercer? 129. 88. So yeah, longbow absolutely wins out over the bow check right now. Very disappointed to see that, because the bow check just got fucking released again. So. Yeah, I would definitely say if they wanted to rework the bow check again, they would have to integrate the Deadeye's tempo into it. That would be the easiest fix right there, because then at least it rewards you for being consistent with your shots, rather than just giving you an outright damage upgrade. You know. It just gives you need to be good with the bow check to do better than someone who's using a longbow. That's what I think should happen. That's what the bow check's always been. So I'm very surprised that they've tried to balance it with the rest of the weapons. The bow check's always been that weapon that's like, if you're good with your shots, pick it up. You know. So yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed. Not gonna lie, I'm just a little bit disappointed. With the bow check. Oh yeah, there's a triple thing as well, isn't it? Yeah, my teammate was using this, and it's fucking insane. It's like the fastest thing ever. Should not be that quick, like. And it also has the gold stock as well, so the gold sniper stock, so you basically just run at full speed at the other people. It's crazy. Yeah, for what 100% marksmen and snipers are going to be like the meta right now. At least, well, maybe not meta, but like definitely more used than before. Which I think is definitely good, because they definitely were being a lot less used. People would basically run around with P20s all the time. Which brings us up to the next thing, P20s. They did actually get nerfed a little bit. Okay, get that. They got nerfed a little bit. They're still very, very good, which I'm happy about, because like I feel like the P20s still need to be in that kind of limelight. Because I mean, then again, I haven't actually, I haven't played in like however long.
Upgraded, uplifted, after no good.
Yeah, then again, I haven't played that like haven't played for a while, so maybe the P20s have been in the meta for a while. I don't know, but I've just recently just got to start the game again and playing with the P20s, and I've been enjoying them. So yeah, they're still very good. There's no question about that. They're still very accurate as well. I like them. Honestly, I wouldn't mind them having these P20s as the baseline for the game, and then buffing all the other weapons to this level. I would not mind that at all. Because then at least, because I mean they've already started doing that because the EVA 8 got buffed to fuck as well, and this weapon is incredible right now. Like look at that, like that's way quicker than the P20s. Like what? I don't even have any attachments on this either. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So look. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the P20s are still a bit faster. But you see what I mean? They're trying to buff all the weapons to like the same level. But then again, EVA 8, there's a lot more to the spread is a lot, you know, less than P20. So yeah, I don't know. I think right now, if you want my final thoughts on this season, I'll give you them. I think the character is great. Some things I want to change, especially around the ultimate. 𝗏𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁, I'm glad it's back, but I'm sad that they had to nerf the damage and take the tempo off, because I really would have liked to see one of them things stay at least. I don't like how both of them got changed, because it's essentially just killed the weapon off. I wouldn't be surprised. No, sorry, I will be surprised if people still use the 𝗏𝗁𝗁𝗁 after its kind of like novelty phase. I'll be very surprised about that, because I literally just used the longbow and it's just way better. So I will be very surprised about that if that does happen. So for them two main features, yeah, that's my opinions on that. They're great. I'm happy about them, but it could be better. And then as for arenas as well, I just wish they implemented into the proper game with the fact that you can have like a gulag system. That might be the plans in the future. That might be what they're trying to do. I don't know. Obviously, I don't get that type of information when I take part of these events and the access things. So I don't know about that. But that's what I hope is happening right now, because that would be a lot more fun than just sitting on a spectate screen when you die. I would like to be doing something. Also, that is sick that you can do that. So yeah, that's like the three main features of the update. Other ones are like balance updates and stuff like that, which I kind of just covered there. Pathfinder got his old stuff back from what I know as well. There's some little changes to Ash and things like that to balance them out a little bit. But largely nothing really much. And that's like probably where my major critique of this season comes in, where there's just not really much to keep us going. And I've just came back to the game as well. And I remember between seasons, there was a distinct feeling of like, this is a new season. For this season, there isn't. In a lot of previous seasons, there isn't. There wasn't, at least. So, the direction that the game's going, I'm not thrilled about it, because I feel like where we're basically going now is we're heading down a pathway where essentially a legend release is the one thing for a season, you know? Whereas that was like a given. And I've said this loads of times. We would literally get a legend, a weapon, a new mode, a map update, and shitloads of balance changes and that would be a decent season. You know, that would be a decent season. You guys remember season 6? People complained about that season for having no content. And that was the season where Rampart released, the Vault was released, a giant World's Edge update, which we all came to know and love, released. I think they even done like shit with like some events and stuff like that. They had like loads of events in that season as well. So loads of stuff really, like, if that happened now, people would be like, "Fucking hell, this season was good," but everyone complained about it back then because it was essentially a dead season. Nothing happened in that season. I do think it was also somewhat to do with the fact that people were very much hyped up for Olympus at that time, so we were expecting something big, and so we got something that wasn't big in quotation marks, even though it was still really good content. But as for right now, we're not even getting map updates. I watched a video on, I think it was on YouTube or something like that, and someone said it has been about a year. Essentially, when Alta released, that was the last map update to Broken Moon. It was. So it's been literally over a year since the last map update, and over a year for the last Legend, and 2 years for the last weapon. This is not going good. And so I really, 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 really hope that this pattern of releasing the good content kind of stops, and it will get back to what the seasons used to be. Because that is definitely why the player count started going down, because people were kind of, I feel like people probably just got a bit bored of the same old, you know? There's 29 weapons in the game, I think, and 27 characters now. So, if you have just, what is that, like over 50 variables that could be interchangeably assigned, you can only play them variables so many times, you know? And you're not going to see every single one, every single game, because obviously not everything's meta all the time. But you can only play the same variables so many times before it just becomes very mundane. You need a new weapon, you need a new legend always being added into the game to make it feel fresh. You know, I like how they have been doing all this class rework stuff by adding abilities to the legends in the classes, because then not only does that buff the whole like one character, it's not just a buff to one, it's a buff to everyone in the class. You know, for the skirmisher ones, it's everyone. And the same season, I think it was also the assault characters as well, the buff to the assault ones. So they essentially buffed this entire first line right here of characters in one season. I like that approach. But why does it have to just be that? You know? Will it be Overload for ALGS? Maybe. I don't know. I think, in my opinion, at the end of the day, it shouldn't really be Overload if they're professionals. That's my opinion. That's where my opinion stands. If you're a professional at a game, you should be able to adapt. Really adapt. If the casual players can adapt to what we used to be able to do, where we had huge balance updates, a new character, a new weapon, we used to do that all the time. So I hope the narrative isn't, let's not add a new character as well as all these class upgrades, because it might shift the meta too much for ALGS. I really hope that isn't the narrative, because if that is the case, I just disagree. I really just disagree. People should be able to adapt, especially competitive players. They should definitely be able to adapt, otherwise they don't deserve to win. So yeah, that's my opinion when it comes to that. You might have a different opinion. I don't really care, to be honest. But yeah, I'm happy though. I am very happy that we have received a new legend, because it's been a fucking while. So now, I mean, if you want to know what I'm doing, I have something to do now. If you guys don't know, I've got 1,000 kills on every character. So I've got a good thing to do right now. I need to get 1,000 kills on Sparrow now. So I'm gonna be a bit busy doing that. I might live stream a few times doing that. So definitely do tune into my live streams on Twitch. I will probably re-upload them maybe on YouTube. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's if I were to rate this season, I think some people have done that on like Twitter and stuff, like rating the season. I would say it's about uh, hmm, I mean, I have actually rated the previous seasons on a series of mine that's coming out soon. Um, ooh, how would I do it? I would say probably about a 6 or a 7. Um, it's not like the 8 or 9 seasons where like there's a legend, a weapon, a map update, a new map or whatever. It's not like one of them seasons. It's just like kind of like a good season. Because let's not forget as well the little things as well that I think people complain about that kind of get swept aside. Audio updates, skill-based matchmaking updates, and also what was the other one? Uh, cheater updates, I think it was as well. Um, so all them as well on top of all this stuff, they're very important. And if it is as good as what they say, and they are being as transparent as they are, um, about the changes that they are going to be making and have made for this season, I think that is a good step forward and would definitely bump up the mark a little bit more. But I think just having a new character, spicing it up a little bit, is great. And I really hope, I really fucking hope that they are releasing a lot more content halfway through the season, like what they did last season. Because I think a lot of people returned to last season on the split, because of the skirmisher changes, which obviously weren't at the start of the season, they were halfway through. So I hope they have something lined up for halfway other than, oh, here's Arenas 2.0 that's coming out. Um, I hope there's something else, some big balance changes. I would like controller perks, in my opinion. I mean, if you look at the control at the what is it? If you look at all classes, here it is. I mean, all these ones down here only have 2 perks. I would like to see all these characters get another perk of some sort. Big problem is with these controller ones, they're all variable. These ones get what's it called? Automatically reload stored weapons after a short delay. So that's in a fight. For these characters, they are when you encircle, you have extra shield, which can be useful in fights, but I mean you're only gonna be in circle sometimes though, aren't you? I want to have an actual perk that's gonna help me with these characters. I don't know what it could be. It could be like something like if you're nearby some of your traps that don't get destroyed, that could be pretty OP. But something to do with the actual traps, so like you have some effect on them. Um, that would be pretty cool, I think, because then you are able to control them areas more rather than just a sparrow coming in, shooting the fucking arrow somewhere, and then all your traps are gone, even though you defend that building. It would be nice if they had a perk that can kind of try and combat that a little bit. Obviously, we used to have 3 perks for the support, but they removed the faster healing. Um, I think it was also faster movement when healing as well. I think that was also the other one. Um, and I guess that makes sense because, I mean, we already had a good reviving ability. What else there could be? I mean, as I said before, with the Gulag stuff, we could see another perk on top of that where if they do eventually add respawn tokens in, then if you have a support character on your team, they can essentially give everyone an additional support, an additional respawn token. But you have to go to the Gulag or whatever the fuck. I don't know. But that would be nice to like essentially have an additional chance if you have a support character on your team. It allows you to have that. And then recon. I'm just spitballing ideas right now, but recon, obviously, we have the Survey Beacons, which is a very large macro size scan, and then you'll have the very linear threat vision when you're aiming down sights. It would be nice if everyone got like just a medium sized scan or something like that, or at least have a anti-scan. You know, if you are a recon character and you get scanned by something, because let's not forget that a lot of characters have scans now that are not part of the recon class. So if you get scanned by something like Mirage Tactical, or I think does Ash have one? Yeah, the Ash scan with the box. Maggie as well when she hits you. let's just say all recon characters do not get affected by scans of other recon characters or other players. You just do not get affected by them. That would be cool. Just an additional perk, because then essentially you are, or maybe if you do get hit by a scan, it doesn't affect you, but you also get a speed boost when you do get scanned. So essentially you're turning the ability on its head and you get a benefit from it. I don't know. But it will be interesting to see where the developers go with that. I would like to see something new here. Something that is different to them two previous abilities. Because I think they've done the skirmisher pretty well. The fact that I love the allies getting a speed boost when they run towards the teammate. Love that, because that's like a support ability. You're keeping your teammates close to you, which is definitely something that the skirmisher class was lacking. I feel like right now, out of every class, the assault class is very selfish. There's not really much there in terms of actually giving your team something. Obviously, you have recon and the controller class with their beacons that they can use. Obviously, the support is very supportive. You have the skirmisher with the speed boost that you get. Assault, what? Like, break enemy shields will increase movement and reload speed. You automatically reload with stored weapons after a short delay, and you also get extra weapon attachments and stuff. There's nothing there for the team. I mean, you could argue the red weapons bins, but as soon as a Maggie finds a fucking red bin, they're going to take all the shit anyway. So they're not going to be sharing that stuff. So I feel like one of these needs to be. I would probably do the automatic reload store weapons after a short delay. We already have that as part of an attachment, so I would remove that one and give a more supportive, like, team based one. That's what I would do. Maybe make it so all teammates automatically reloads to weapons after a short delay. Change it. I mean, so instead it's just yourself, it's all teammates reload your weapons automatically after a short delay. I don't know. I would like some team element for the assault class and a new perk for all these ones at the bottom. That's what I would like to see in the future with perks. In my opinion, I keep rambling, but like, there's a lot of things I would like to see changed, because I haven't made one of these videos in a while. So I would like to hear what you guys think about this season. I was hoping for a little bit more, I'm not gonna lie. But I am hoping that halfway through this season is going to be where a lot of the more balance changes and stuff like that, and the potentially perks do come out. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. But as right now, I've got a lot to do with getting my 1,000 kills on Sparrow. So yeah, definitely do tune to the live streams, and I'll catch you guys there. Bye for now.